Morning, morning, cooking time today here. I got the lights on. It looks a bit dark. The lights are all on. Soup day. Okay, let's do the camera. I've got the soup first. Beeps everywhere. The microphone is back over there, so let's get this out of the way. We're okay to show. For those of you who are new here, the first couple of minutes it's going to be soup cooking, and after that we'll be back here working. So just give me a couple of minutes over there to get it ready, and we'll be back here. Glue in my hands. Okay, give me a 5-minute count on that. It says 8:04. I turned the heat off a moment ago. 8:04, so 8:09 we're okay to go with that stuff. 5-minute, I don't know, what's we call seeping time? I don't know, steeping time. No. Okay. What's this? Questions. Can we smell? I gotta wash my hands. I got glue all over my fingers. Hang on. Okay. Good morning. Sashiburi up here for a stream up here. I hope we're okay. Not sure how the connection is. We tested the net connection just a few minutes before we started. It seems okay, but they're not as good as it is downstairs. So we'll see how it goes. Not 109, 809. Okay, all right. So 809. Someone's talking about what's the Beach Boys project. I can't announce it yet. We're making a new print. You'll see it. I'll be carving it all through January. If we're 95% of the way to getting the project cleared. If it's cleared, then I'll be carving all through January. You'll see it there, so don't worry about it. There's going to be a very, very, very interesting project happening in January. The first of what we hope will be an extended group of prints. Another question. Someone's asking about Numabe Mokuhan. Rod-san, hi. Louis-san, hi. And Numabe Mokuhan is a new publisher in town. Numabe-san, Shinkichi Numabe. You've seen him in some of my Great Wave videos. He was a printer we used to do the first batch of our Great Wave prints. And since then, we've used him for off-and-on jobs. He's not available very often because he is the house printer for the Yoshida family and has been for, I don't know, 10 years or so since what's his name? Komatsu-san died. So Numabe-san has been a freelance printer. He is 2 months, no, he's 1 month younger than me. So he's 70 next month. He's having trouble with his shoulders because he prints standing up. He and I talked about that too many times over the years. So what he's done is, to take care of his future, he is gradually switching from being a printer to being a publisher. And he is his first venture, him and his son's wife, they call themselves Numabe Mokuhan, and they are producing a series of reproductions of Ohara Koson prints. And he brought the first one to us some months ago. I should have put it up on the website at that time. But whatever, lots of stuff got in the way. So that's the first issue of his new publishing venture. He's hired, what's her name? Her name used to be Koike-san. She got married, I forget what her name is. One of the young carvers who trained at Sekioku-san's place. He hired her to do carving the blocks. And he and his son do the printing. And this is their first venture. And someone is saying, fly fish, no condom. No, we don't do that here. We practice safe procedures here. We have a keyboard cover. Come on. What are you accusing me of? Someone's talking about a print with flowing hair. There may be a print with flowing hair involved. There may be. Then there's a problem. We took his picture last night. He brought over this print for us, the Ohara Koson print. And Watanabe-san took his pictures yesterday. And she got the side light really strong. And actually, Numabe-san, I think he puts a bit too much pressure in. And that paper is a bit wavy. So we want a better picture. There is a cover. Yes, there is a cover. What's the quality of carving and printing from Numabe Mokuhan? All I know so far is that first one he's brought us, and I don't know the original for comparison. He's a good printer when he wants to, He is a beautiful, beautiful printer. The print I posted on Instagram the other day, the one from Shiba Daimon from Hasui, Numabe-san printed that, and when he behaves himself, when he really tries to do a good result, he is a very, very competent printer. Very much. So there should be no problem with the quality of the stuff. Carving, it's not ukiyo-e, so we're not looking at delicate lines. We are 8:09. We are time to get going. Any updates on the bath situation? Let's talk. Let me get started. So I'll get that out of the way here. Just 1 sec. Pop that out of the way for a moment. Smart put dust into it. So. The brush is still wet from last night. I did sizing again last night. It's, for me, I'm a sizing machine recently. That color looks a bit light. Did I measure wrong? No, 2 liters of water, 110 grams of glue, and 16.5 grams of alum. It's okay. The mix is okay. It looks a bit light in color today. Don't know why. Maybe it's the lighting here. You're looking at 2 liters of the size down in the tub there. Usually looks a little bit more of a golden color. Two liters of water, that's what I put in. Then I also put in 110 grams. I know, because I measured 55, 55. 110 went in. Then the alum this morning, I measured that. That's 16.5. I did it really carefully. It's the correct mix. It's cooked for the correct time. We're okay. We're okay. It's the white balance or something. Looks funny. I don't know. Let's warm up the brush. Just a minute here. And the table has been on. There's a hot carpet here on the table. We are now moving into winter. It is now, what does it say here? It's both cold, and it's getting cold and dry. We are, what is it? We are at 13 degrees, somewhere around there, and we are really, really dry here. This is bone dry territory. There's no printers coming today, but if there are, they've got to keep busy. You got a piece of paper out while you're printing it. It's drying around the edges as you're printing the middle. This is like Nevada now. It's just getting really, really dry. We have thermometers and what are they called? Hygrometers? They're all over the building. We have another one hanging up here. It's like sort of, we don't trust them. We want to make sure we get these numbers. This one says 13 and 46. That's a really good match. These things must be accurate. That's a good match. There's another one in the middle room where we hang the paper, and there's another big one in the room where the printers are. We got 4 of them up here on the 4th floor. It's funny that we don't need it. I mean, we don't need them. You can tell. I can tell it's dry today, and I can certainly tell it's cold. We don't need the machines, but you know, whatever. They're all 4 of them are equally wrong. Yeah. This is life in a Japanese old building, you know. This is it. They don't build buildings, so they certainly didn't used to. They didn't build them with heat. Heat is for wusses. Not my idea. Okay, what we've got here, the paper today, I've just cut it in half a few minutes ago. It's the normal, what we call nishiki paper. We have cut it in half, and it would make 2 prints of what would be the onishiki size. This could be, for example, it could be a great wave, or it could be an utamaro bijingar, something like that. We're going to use it for 1, 2, 3, 4. This is going to make 4 copies, and it's going to be the dragon print from last year's series. The main run of the dragon prints has now gone out to the customers, but we are doing a reprint. We will be opening the series in a few days. Stand by. If you've been waiting for the nature series, it opens in a few days, and it will open the moment when I upload the video, which is now in preparation. I worked on the video all last night, yesterday afternoon and yesterday evening before doing the sizing. It's the year-end update video, and during the video I will say get going, because the web page opened a few minutes ago. And we will be opening both websites the same moment I upload the YouTube video, confirm that it's live. I will then go to our website and open up this year's series, and I will open up next year's series. So if you want one of those and you see the video announcement next week, don't even wait to go and watch the video. just head for the website first. I don't know when it'll be. Today's Saturday here in Japan. It'll be, I don't know, Tuesday or Wednesday. Give me a break. I've got to print first. I've got to make the first copies of next year's print. So we're not talking this afternoon or tomorrow or the day after. It'll be Tuesday or Wednesday, maybe. Japanese time. So don't sit there at your computer today. No. Okay, let's do this. Here, paper's ready. I think you can see everything. Let's do this. If you're going to count, I have 15 sheets of paper. I sliced them in half, stacked them up. We have 30. We're going to do both sides. Head in there, hang them up, and then we have a large size show and tell today. Dave, what's that behind me? Is somebody coming? It sounds like a panto. It's panto season. It's behind you. Now this brush is thick and rich and full, and this paper isn't all that thick, so I've got to be careful not to get too much on here. It's also not my favorite time of day for sizing. We've got a huge side light coming through the window here, and I can't see the surface of the paper. I've got a bright desk light here, and in the evening it's perfect. I can see everything because it's dark. Well, someone's asking what's behind me. I'm not sure what you mean. There's a shelf behind me. The stairs that go upstairs are behind me. That's the stairs that go up to the roof. There's a little bit, you can see our mulberry fiber stock is up there. $30 is a lot to do in stream. We need to, do we? I don't know. I think I've got a good quick start today. I prepared the cooking in advance. I think we've got a good quick start today. It's only 8:15. Something else too is different today. And now that we have the new computer, the new laptop, when we make our change today, we're going to move in from here into the next room. And usually the thing all breaks down and we lose our connection. We should be able to hold the connection and just go through to the next room today, because the cameras are now connected to the computer by USB-C, which goes ka-chunk. The old USB was the original USB or USB-A, whatever it's called. And those are loose in their sockets, and we can never move the computer to the next room without losing the connection. But today it should. Oh, look at that. I dropped it. Show off. Don't look. Looks like a wet spot on the bed. Haven't seen one of those in more years than I can remember. What's this waiting for? I think we keep hearing beeps and stuff. I think the computer is talking to, we have a USB sound stick over there somewhere for when I play music, when I'm sizing by myself here. And the computer, I think, has connected up to it. Or it's the Bluetooth is connecting and disconnecting and connecting and disconnecting, and we get a beep every time. I think that's what it's doing. In Canada, I'm still awaiting my November print. Yes, you and 1,000, well, not 1,000 other people, but you and a lot of other people. Actually, I got another batch of tracking numbers last night from our American people, so actually your print has probably now left the US, actually, if you're in Canada. It got through to FedEx, and then it got through to America. Please trust me, they are actually going through. I know there was a staggering problem in November in that we sent the people who did the November subscription print on the 1st. They paid. We got them through, and a FedEx box left here, whatever, I can't remember what date it was, and it didn't arrive in Utah until, it was the 18th. It was 12 days later it arrived there. And the lady who works for Jed, who had been planning to ship those prints, had been waiting. She's calling us, Dave, when is it going to come? And we've like, FedEx has got it. And she couldn't wait any longer. Jed had hired her to do some outside comic conventions. So our box was supposed to get there like one Monday or Tuesday. She was supposed to ship it during the week, and it didn't arrive altogether. She left for a comic convention. She comes back on Tuesday, Monday, Tuesday. The box is still not there. The box gets there like Thursday noon. Thursday night, she's gone for another convention. So it was a combination of two things. FedEx really, really borking it, and then Jed's assistant being on duty for conventions. So the November prints got totally screwed by that. All the US, Canada-based November prints. They did get out. In FedEx, we had one. Last Monday, we shipped another FedEx box. This is 3 or 4 down the road. We shipped another one Monday. We're thinking, how long is this going to take? On Tuesday afternoon, we get the delivery notice. Your package has just arrived in Provo, Utah. It was like 36 hours or something. And give me a break. That's what we pay FedEx for. So I don't know. They do get there. Please trust us. But it's not goat here. It's no wait goat. It's yagi. What is yagi in English? Goat. It is goat. Okay, sorry. It's yagi. How can you check the delivery status of your order? I'm not sure what kind of order you've got or where you are. When we ship things by EMS, for example, the day we give it to the post office, we get a tracking number that goes into your account and an email goes to you. If it's a non-trackable subscription print, there is no way to track it. I know some people, when they sign up for subscriptions, it's their choice. A cheaper shipping option with no tracking or more expensive with tracking. But even the with tracking ones these days, while they're in the FedEx box, there's no tracking for that part. It's once they've arrived in the American office, then they get dumped into USPS. That's when tracking numbers are assigned. So I have no specific single answer for you. How can you find out where your package is? I don't know. If it's been unusually late and you think something might have gone wrong, please drop us an email. Write to me, write to Cameron, go to our website, use the contact form. We're flooded with emails, but please, if you're sure, if you're not sure, if you think something might be going wrong, let us know. Actually, all in all, considering the global disaster that the supply chain and shipping and logistics scene is these days, considering all those things, we've actually come through very, very well. We have very, very few reports of actual missing prints. There's been very few we've had to replace. It's just simply stuff is, like a month later than it normally is. But for someone on a subscription, it turns out that's not so bad. You start in whatever, October, your first print might not arrive till late November, but you're going month by month and the prints arrive month by month. So it's the first gap that's long, but after that they do arrive at monthly intervals. We get a problem where people who don't have experience with us, they don't trust us yet. They might sign up for a subscription, for example, October 1st or something, pay for it, and by the time November 1st comes around to pay for the next one, they haven't got the first one yet. And because they're new to us, because they don't trust us, understandably, they don't pay for the second subscription print. So the first one might arrive at the end of November or something, really late. Then they pay for the second one. And that then takes also 6 to 7 to 8 weeks. So that becomes crazy. It's people who know us and who trust us, that's fine. They pay month by month, regularly, and then the prints end up arriving regularly month by month by month. It's a problem for us. We can't have no easy solution for it. New people, of course, understandably, don't want to pay for the second one if they haven't received the first one yet. They don't know who we are. Not 100 sheets today. There's 30 pieces of paper in this stack, and I believe people out there are keeping track for me. I don't know. We are zipping through this today. One of the keys to this stuff, of course, it's how much I wipe off. This is a good thick brush, and if I just dipped it and hit the paper, there would be a massive flood of liquid. It wouldn't work. I've got to dip it there and then wipe off. And how much I wipe off, it's just experience. It depends on how thin or thick the paper is. This is pretty thin paper today, so I have to wipe off quite a bit. And get my body in the way here. I can't see just a minute. So we're dipping and fluff, 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 fluff to get the size into the brush. Dip it, knock off a ton, Come with my body in the way here. Knock off and then bend the hair back on the right hand side and then make the stroke. So I can't do both at the same time here. So it's, what is it? It's dip, 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 push, push, fluff, fluff, fluff. Earthquake. And what am I doing? Dip, which is fluffing, then knock it against the side, knock it against the side, wipe it off once, wipe it off twice, pop it over. And then, of course, how quickly we move the angle of this thing. You'll see I start at a horizontal angle to keep the liquid in it, and then once I hit, I start standing up the brush more and more and more, so more liquid comes down at the end of the tail. So it's the speed of the brush, quickly at first slowing down. It's the angle, horizontal at first, then gradually standing up as I move, and then pressure, how much pressure on the paper, pushing down. So try and see if you can catch those things as it goes. The angle of the brush and the speed of the brush. It would be fun to build a machine to try and do these things. Here we go. Horizontal now. We're going to hit, then gradually stand up and gradually slow down. And hopefully the liquid would then be even all the way over. Or at least relatively even. Someone's asked about Western paper. I have no experience whatsoever, not even one sheet of using Western paper for this tradition. There is a person over there in America. His name is Matt Brown. He's a very experienced printmaker. He's been at this longer than I have. He's older than me, I guess. Matt Brown. He lives in Lyme in New Hampshire. And he uses, I believe, almost exclusively, maybe the one you mentioned here. Somebody said Arches watercolor paper. Don't quote me. Go to his website, look it up. That's what he uses for all of his Japanese style printmaking. And I believe it's already sized. I don't think he has to do this process. He swears by it. I don't. I visited him. We chatted about this, and I'm like, you can't possibly use that stuff. It swells and shrinks in different directions all over the place. But he's got used to it. He knows how to use it. He's got it under control. For me, one of the keys of this paper is when we're printing on it, it doesn't swell and shrink in this direction. It does all of its swelling and shrinking in this, whatever, horizontal direction. And that matches the wood block. So for us, that's key. Matt makes it work. No, not Lyme, Connecticut. Lyme, NH. He's in New Hampshire. His name is Matt Brown. His website is Ooloo Press, OOLOOPRESS.com. He's been around for a long time. He's got lots of tutorials. He teaches this stuff. He's got a bajillion happy students. Also a real nice guy. He's not in it for bucks or something. He sells his prints for reasonable prices. Competent person, really nice guy. Yeah. Here we are, last one. Okay, there's the front side. We now have to flip. Someone's asking, am I in contact with Yunmi Nam? I have no idea what you're talking about. I'm sorry. Is that a person's name? Sounds Korean. I don't have any idea. I'm sorry. Flip, over we go. Teaches at Kansas University. No, I'm sorry, I don't know the name or the person at all. People in the contemporary printmaking world, I really don't know much about that. It's a different world from what we do here. I don't know people. I know Matt, the guy we mentioned, because he works, in traditional Japanese techniques and stuff. But okay, now we're going to use less fluid on the back. I'm going to wipe off here a bit more than I did for the front side, because this paper is not saturated yet, but it is pretty wet now. And to get a good full coverage from the back side now, there's lots of moisture that came in from the front, so I don't have to add too much from the back. In fact, there's a pool there. That's too much, absolutely. There's a pool. So I've got to go easy. No, don't put too much liquid on the back side. Am I getting some KFC for Christmas? I don't even know what day Christmas is anymore. It's nothing here, nothing to me. Like when I was a family man and a daddy, and when I was a kid, of course, Christmas was a fabulous deal. These days, to me now, I'm sorry, it's just, it's nothing, it's diversion. This is tough. I'm getting pools here. This is not good. This is double plus ungood. It's the light. I can't see it, you know. It's not actually a disaster. If I left the pool, if I swiped this and left the pool of water, then put the next sheet on top of it, that would be trouble, because that would leave a funny patch on the front surface of the sheet. We're working on the back side here. So all I have to do, I have to make sure that if I do leave a pool here, I've got to wait till it soaks in or take off some of the excess with a tissue or whatever. So the danger is if I don't notice it. No, it's not that I need a headlamp. I need better light from that side. The light over there is quite high. It optimally would be quite a bit lower. But basically, I'm just putting too much liquid. Dave, wipe off more here. And or I'm moving too slowly. That one looks good. The danger now, of course, is if I don't put enough in. There is, somebody's asking about getting Iwano-san's paper. There is a supplier in Tokyo here that does have it. That does sometimes, often have it. Oji Washi, O-J-I, Oji Washi here in Tokyo. They also buy wholesale from Iwano-san. And in years when he has, you know, paper available, when there's been a good Kozo supply and whatever, he does sell to them. So you can check the website for Oji Washi. And they frequently do have Iwano-san's paper. They've got it in the one I'm using today, the standard Nishiki size, unsized. They may have it probably called gomomme, 5 momme in thickness, and it will be expensive because they're buying the same price we buy, and then they're marking it up double for retail. So give it a check. They have an English website. Have a look, or just Google Iwano site-ojiwashi.com, whatever their website is. Give it a try. And also some of the other global wholesalers. So what's the, there's a Japanese paper, oh yeah, I think that's what it's called, the Japanese paper place or something over there in Toronto, Canada. They also, she visits Iwano-san when she's over here, and I believe she buys from him. It's not like he's secret and locked up tight. He sells to, when he's got the supplies, he sells to whoever will buy it from him. You know, he doesn't sell one by one. I think the minimum order, when I first talked to him, this is 25 odd years ago, the minimum order was 500 sheets. Hitotaba, 500. But that has dropped. Absolutely, that's dropped. It's probably like maybe 200, I don't know. Big pool. Do I have another paper you would like to use in case that paper ever stops being made? No. We have explored. We heard like last couple of years there's been the Kitaro paper. Sounds really good. We can't use it. We're using it for testing, and the girls complain bitterly to me. It's no good for even the testing. We don't have an option. We have no other option. And it's an existential crisis for us, and we're not ready to act on it yet, but we are in the background preparing. Bit by bit we are preparing. It's not only just one family, it's one person. The son of the family, Jun-san, he's 50 odd years old. He is the last person. His father now, Iwano-san himself, is really too old to do much. And Jun-san's family, his daughters, do not want to do it. So we can see the end of the line actually is at hand. Are we planning on show and tell? Yes, I have an S&T, and we were talking about this last week. I've got room up here, so I have prepared a larger, not that large, but we have an S&T. And we will almost certainly go overtime. It's 8:41. Paper making, paper making, paper making. There's not much I can really say about it. Dave here has the idea that if we did set our minds to it and got some tools and supplies ready, we could make good paper. But to say that is a grotesque insult to Iwano-san. If Iwano-san was listening to this and heard me say that, Dave thinks he can make his own paper. The guy's the 9th generation living national treasure. The know-how has seeped down and been talked and learned for 9 generations. And his family, compared to the family living next door, Yamaguchi-san, who's running the Kitaro place, it's literally next door. Those people have access to the same traditions. They're using the same materials. The same truck brings the same raw material from the same place, delivers some to Iwano-san and some to Kitaro next door. Same river, same creek, same air, same everything. And the paper is totally, absolutely, completely different. We cannot use the Kitaro stuff. So given that environment, Dave here says, it's okay, give me a bit of practice, I can do this. Iwano-san would just crap himself. How can you dare say that? And he could be right. He's probably right. We will probably just flub it. But we have to try. It's not his son. Jun-san has a daughter. And at some point a while back, last time I visited him, it was about 3 years ago, say before the pandemic. When I visited him, he was talking to me about her. I had asked, is she going to, what do you think? Give this a try. And he said at that time, it was like, we talked about it. He said she's thinking about it. That was a few years ago. And since then, on the phone, when I was putting the order in, was it last year? I can't remember. I asked again, and he said, no, she's out. She's out of here. She's decided not to go ahead with it. Common sense, if you're a young girl, you're 20 or 25 or some whatever age she is, I don't know, to make a career, why would she do this? Why would she do the back-breaking work, picking the chili in the cold water, when there's only like 3 customers in the country who know how good your stuff is? Who on earth would sensibly start such a career? Of course. She's not. It's a whatever, a symptom of how smart she is that she's running away, I've never met her. No contact with her at all. Never met her. I mean, if I could, I'd like to tell her, look, if you can do this, we'll do the video, we'll talk, we can, whatever it was she was desiring, we can make you famous, we can try and make you rich or whatever, I don't know. But I've never spoken to her, I've never met her. Again, somebody's asking, why don't they employ somebody? They only have like a few customers. There's no, you can't start an apprentice and stuff like this when you can't promise them a career at the end of it. It's a bit of a catch-22. Because they're not interested in pushing this forward, it's not possible to push it forward. You get the idea. If you want to drink the Kool-Aid like I do and just dive in and swim, it turns out we've managed to push it forward. But that's not the normal way things work. They're behaving in what actually is a normal, sensible way. They see themselves at the end of a long tradition. Society has changed and doesn't really value their products anymore. That's okay. The buggy whips became not needed. It's not strange. It's not unusual. It's frustrating for me because I think that if we did push it forward, roll it forward, this would create demand and it would then be usable for society again. But he doesn't see himself riding this horse. He's just a guy trying to make a comfortable living, take care of his family. He's got no, it's not on his shoulders to preserve and protect the tradition forever and ever and ever. He doesn't care. Nor should he. Anyway, enough of that. Bath. Okay, the bath is settling down. The bath has settled down. There are 3 boys in the back room there, and it's become clear. Some of them are didn't like to make this change, but the change has been made. The last few times I've been in there now, the cover has been taken off between 7:35 and 7:40. And on a day when I've got the stream, last Thursday, for example, I had a stream, it's 7:30, ticking, I'm washing my body, looking, has the cover been taken off, and I'm hoping, like, 'cause I got to be back here by 8 o'clock streaming, and on Thursday I had to bail. I didn't make it. I had to bail first. I left there something like 7:40, and as I'm in the locker room getting dried, I hear swoop, 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 off comes the bath cover. So I didn't make it on Thursday. But it is, the boys have got the word, they are cooperating, and all of the other people, it's not just me, the other guys in the bath, we are all doing what we can to encourage this. We get in the water and hey, thank you very much, Mo, very nice, thank you. We try and fill the room with cheer and thanks and pleasant voices. So it seems like it has come around. Instead of opening at 8, they're now opening it when they can, sometimes 7:35, 7:40, 7:45. It seems to be getting a bit more stable. The temperature has been a little bit variable, but no disasters like there was on that day I told you before. So the drama part of this seems to be over. With Dave's little push there, I pushed a little bit and I wobbled things, and things got a little bit out of kilter, but things have now sort of stabilized again, I think. I don't know what's happening in the back room, but it seems that we might be okay on this. Some days I will win and some days I will lose. And then on Friday, yesterday, when I went there, of course I don't have a stream, so I went late. I went at 7:10, I'm up to 750 meters now. Did my swim and then sat around and soaked and soaked and soaked. $750, but not in one piece. I've switched lanes. I'm no longer doing the slowest lane. The slowest lane. It became a bit frustrating because it was okay. For me at the beginning it was fine. Do 25 meters, stand up. Get back, do 25 meters. I did that first, and the guy I was with, he's in the same sort of situation, so we were fine. But it got to a point where I'm getting a little bit better at this. It's okay. So I started doing a couple of kick turns, and that put me a little bit at his feet. So I've moved over now to the next lane. It's called a long course, and the idea is that you keep moving and you don't stop. And some days it's okay, some days it's not okay. So what I do now, it's not exactly the same every day. I can do, say, for example, it's a 25-meter pool. So I do 1, 2, 3, 4 with kick turns, stand up for a second, then do another 4. So I broke it into groups of 4. And because I did that, it's much, much faster. Instead of standing gasping, when you do your kick turn, your time decreases by, oh my God, it's almost half. So the problem I found was that when I was doing this this is like 10 days ago, so I get out of there and there's no chance for the bath because I am now in and out of there really, really quickly. So I thought, okay, that's not going to be so helpful. So what I'll do is I'll increase the distance to make up for it. In other words, stay in there for roughly the same time. I'm in there at 7:03 or 4:05, and I'm now out of there at 7:25 or so. So I've now increased my speed a little bit because of the kick turning, and I now do a longer distance, and I'm now up to 750, and it's in groups of either 8, 4, 4, 8, stuff like this. It's a 25-meter pool, unfortunately. It's okay. It's all you can get. This is Tokyo. God's sake, Fritz, this is Tokyo. 25 meters. And of course, there's no passing. Absolutely, there's no passing. You're not allowed to come anywhere near anybody else. If they're coming up from you behind, get out of the, stand out of their way and let them come round. And if you're coming up from behind, be polite. The rules are clear. Don't approach anybody else. And I get it. It's okay. I wouldn't want to do that. And I've been a good citizen. When I was really, really slow at this the first month, I was paranoid about this. Keeping, not starting when if somebody was coming towards me, if they're in the last half of the pool, I just wait till they get there and go around, then I follow them. No, I'm not speedy. I'm not good at this. I'm struggling. If you saw my stroke style, you would just laugh yourself silly. I am no good at this, at that. But it's doing the job. It's absolutely doing the job. I feel way, way better. My body feels better. To go there in the morning, it's a bit of a drag. It might be raining. Oh my God, did I really get up to do this? But on the way home, it's just, anyway, let's go, let's go, let's go. I am so glad I started that. Absolutely so glad. That style, I just so funny. If you could see it, I'm thrashing my. I can still only breathe on one side. I am trying. I breathe right only, and Dave, you should go 1, 2, breathe 1, 2, 3, whatever on the left. But I cannot somehow get myself to breathe on the left-hand side without gasping and choking and half drowning. I suppose I should sign up for some lessons one day or something, but no, whatever, just whatever. The benefit for me is the motion. And the community there is fun. It's now been over a month I've been doing this, and you see this person and that person, and you get to know what they're doing. And there are some scary people there. My God, there's some scary people there. Scary, I mean, they are serious. Holy smokes, they are serious. I guess it's kind of like people that do the Tokyo Marathon once a year or something. They do a training routine during the year, And there's one guy, he's just so great. He must go upstairs to the running track first. He runs 15 or 20 minutes or something up there. And then he comes downstairs and he tries to get into the pool as fast as he can, because he's training for a triathlon, I guess. And he runs down in his shorts into the pool deck, strips off. He doesn't care who sees what, jumps into the pool. He's absolutely serious. And he does like a mini, then he runs outside and gets on a bicycle. I don't see him. I don't know. I'm gone. I don't know what he does. People are fun. I could watch swimming tips on YouTube. No, I'm just relax. It's okay. I get in the water. My heart gets up there for 20, 25 minutes. I stretch the muscles. It's okay. That's all I need. I do not want to get interested in that. I absolutely do not want to be interested in it. There's enough enough headspace for. Look at this. Still too much. What am I doing? I'm crapping in public here, Is it swim first then? Swim, cycle, run. Is that what it is? And maybe what he's doing then, he goes upstairs to a treadmill or something. Maybe that's his warm-up. Maybe that. I don't know. No idea. Okay, I think I see what I was doing wrong. I come here, I'm talking too much, and I'm come here, and instead of holding this horizontally, I've been holding it a little bit at an angle, and stuff is draining towards the tip, so that when I do hit this, there's too much here. Keep a watch. If I start to let that thing tip, dip, 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 fluff, fluff, knock off, wipe, 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 bend the tip, stay horizontal, Dave, stay horizontal. Here we are. Now drop, boom, Boom. We are okay to go. That was it. I was tipping it, the show. Yeah. So, John's comment, that's right. Let me know about the mistakes. Because of the delay here, I get it a half an hour later or something. We must be nearly done, I think. Are we? What's our time? We're okay. We're okay. Show and tell will run a bit late, but it's okay. You're laughing about that. The printers are saying Dave must have been on the stream during this. I got that from Kubota-san, you know. I've had that from him before because he knows what's going on. I've talked to him about this, you know. And I got that comment from him at one point months ago when they were different. He says, you know, were you doing something else at the same time you did this? And I'm like, who, me? No, full concentration, you know. I'm a professional. Also, news. I don't know, maybe the mods have talked about this when I didn't, when I wasn't watching. I know, TV. I know we did a TV program here about, what was it, 2 months ago? I think I was distracted and talked to you about the fact that a TV company, a cable TV company was here filming. They did their thing and they went away and the TV program was broadcast and we got a little burst of activity on the Japanese website for a while, then nothing else. Anyway, they have finally put our segment up on YouTube. It's all in Japanese, so it doesn't really help, but you can see some pretty pictures of our workshop. The mods have got it here. Yes, thank you. And you know YouTube does auto translation. Whatever, what can I say? Don't bother. Or if you want to, if you hold yourself in from laughing, if you turn on the automatic translation, turn on the captions, and turn on auto translation to English. I haven't checked any other languages. And it's a parody. It's absolutely a parody. John says the machine translation is pretty laughable. It's not pretty laughable. It's it's grotesque parody. It makes me actually question my Japanese ability. Like whenever the announcer comes in and says something, the translation sort of starts to get it right. But whenever Dave is speaking, the machine translation throws up its hands and says, what the hell's going on? And it just gives up. Where's my cover? It's absolutely grotesque, the translation. So. Okay, it's time to move to the next room. Now. You know how we do this. First, I will move the camera. Actually, I've got a long cable for the camera, you know. Okay, let me just do this. If you're new here, don't panic. The stream may break, things will change, video will go blah, 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 blah. The whole stream may collapse. It will come back in 2 or 3 minutes later. I'll be in the next room. So just, I'll be quiet here for a minute. You take care of yourselves. Don't panic if it goes down. Main camera, power going down. Yosh. It stayed up. The new camera has a battery built in. So when I unplugged it and went next door, it held on. We may get through this. Here's the paper going through. computer. Power might not need it. That new battery is pretty fantastic. Let's see, let's just get ready again. Okay, microphone. Someone's saying when Dave speaks in a video, they subtitle it in Japanese. This is funny. This is Japanese TV programs all do this. Not just because it's Dave. It's for hard of hearing stuff like this. It's become norm to do this. But they fix my Japanese. This is embarrassing. When I speak, blah, 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 I lied too much. The typing is fixing my Japanese. Okay, let's move next door. Let's try this. What can I say? Let's just try. I'm trailing video cable. I'm trailing Ethernet cable. I'm holding onto the mic cable. No guarantees here. Something's caught. We may have made it. Look at that. We may have made it. Okay, what to do with the mic here? Just a second. The mic has to stay. I'll put the mic up here for a minute. Okay, now what's our viewpoint? Oh, we got to move that. Okay, hang on a sec. Where does this go? Down here? Okay, we're going to hang up there. We do that. Okay, it's too small now. I can't see the chat. So let's see if we can take a minute and pop up the chat settings, larger type. Chat settings. How do we chat appearance? Larger type. Yes. Yes. I still can't read it, but whatever. Okay, because they're going up 2 at a time, we don't have 30 sheets to hang. We will be hanging 15 pairs. The sheets get flipped. The top 2 sheets are now back to back. I did put the brush in the water. Thank you. Chatting in caps so I can read it. The heater is still on. If I turn it off, the glue will congeal. The heater is still on. The brush is out of the glue. The brush is in hot water. I am okay. Thank you for the concern. Thank you very much for the reminder. But actually, it's okay back there. No response. Have I forgotten something? The glue is good to go. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. The glue is good. Thank you for the reminders. Much appreciated. There will be show and tell. Show and tell today, actually, it's prints you have seen before, but not one person on that chat is going to complain about it. It's not a repeat per se, but it is prints you've seen before. Okay, the clipboard here. We have a clip. It's got 3 clips, and I don't have 3 fingers to do this, so we sometimes use this piece of wood to give me full clip action, but it turns out the paper we're using today, I can cover it with just 2. So we're holding one in reserve, just 2. We'll hold it comfortably. If the corners were really sagging, I could maybe use 3, but just 2 is no problem. It's not reruns. It's not reruns, but simply they are prints that you have seen in a different environment before. I just thought today, because we have room, we have a new camera here, we have stuff, we will look at some favorites today. But I think actually they've never appeared on Show and Tell. I see someone's asking about YouTube. Standing by. This next week we'll see 1 video for sure, maybe 2, and then over the New Year period there is another video coming. So YouTube is about to wake up again. I have just simply been just the work has just been stunningly, staggeringly busy the past couple of months. The shopping cart has now slowed down. Christmas is done. We can do nothing else for people for Christmas. So I can now leave that alone and get some YouTube work done. And you may have noticed the next room there, the camera is showing through to the next room. It's dark there. Nobody is in today. They are all waiting now for me to finish the test printing on the first print of next year's series. The first 2 prints of next year's series. Once my test printing is finished the next few days, that room is going to be buzzing. They really, really want to get going. Can I see this? Can I see this? Time to order Valentine's Day print, somebody says. Is anybody counting? How far we got through? The sounds you're hearing there, they're from the alley out back. I don't know what somebody's doing. There's actually windows up on the 3rd floor here. There are windows on that side. And at one point in time, when this building was brand new, it must have had windows facing actually both ways, both directions. The 2nd floor and 3rd floor have quite big windows. Our old shop on the 2nd floor, those of you who have been with us for years and years, that had a big window. Then sometime after this building was built, next door went up and next door went up, and they both built to the wall, and the windows got blocked up. But the building on that side of us was renovated some years ago, not renovated, torn down and rebuilt. And they had to follow the new style of pulling back. You're not allowed to put walls together. So this window in this room came alive again. After many years of being bricked up, it's actually now a window again. It's somebody says 50C minimum. It's 50C by each landowner, depending on the zoning in which area. Where we are here, they want each person to come back 50 centimeters. So he has done his 50 centimeters, and if we rebuild, we have to pull our 50 centimeters. These guys are serious. They want a meter in there. They want firemen to be able to run down between two buildings. And that's what it is. If you look across the street from us, the bag lady, her building butts the hotel. And both of those have been rebuilt since these rules came into play. The hotel had to come back 50 centimeters from the property line, and when she built her building, new one, so did she. So you can check this out. You can see that if you're in our neighborhood sometime. Walk across the street and look at the gap between the little old lady and the hotel. And that's how it's all supposed to be now. And of course, it's all about fire. I can't really argue with it. It just hurts someone like us who only have 3 meters, and when you lose 50 centimeters on both sides, you don't have a whole lot left. Who pays for the rebuild? The building owner, of course. What do you mean? We don't own this building. We rent it from Suzuki-san. We do renovations inside. That's all up to us. But making a new building here, that's nothing to do with us. Interior is our call. The building structure is her call. I'm going to move the mic. I put the mic on just a second here. Give me one moment. Just a sec. Temporary position for the mic here. Just a moment. Okay, it's really no big deal, but the idea with the plastic and keeping the doors closed. Watch out for my Ethernet connection there. The idea behind that stuff is we want the paper to dry as slowly as possible. So keeping it wrapped in plastic just helps it dry. In this environment right now, this kind of dryness, it's going to be dry in half an hour, whatever. But we really would like to dry it as slowly as possible. Now, let me think about what's a good setup. That light behind me is no good. If I get that out of the way. Where can I put the stand? We have a stand. And then we move the camera. We've got a big stand for big prints. Let me bring the camera over. Earthquake. Oop. And this is awfully dark here. My God, it's dark, dark, dark. Now, let's try the new light setting here. Just a moment. If I hit the menu here. Oh, it's actually going to work. Look at that. It actually worked. Okay, there's a bit of a pamphlet here. There's the pamphlet that came with this print set. But we have never actually looked closely at these prints before. So let's have a look. Anybody going to get bored and leave? I don't think we've ever actually looked at these before. $1978. It might be 1978, might be 1979. Nobody's really sure. Someone's talking about Beach Boys. What's this got to do with the ocean? This has nothing to do with the ocean. Beach Boys? Is somebody know something that I don't know? Okay, it's Okariyosho, for those of you who don't know. This is a project from 1978 or 79. They made 4 prints. The company, Yu Company, made 4 prints from designs by Okariyosho that were published in the Asahi, Shukan Asahi newspaper in the previous years, 1975, 1976, 1977. Yu apparently approached Okada-san for this project. He said okay, and they spent the next couple of years fighting vigorously over this. I spoke to Saeki-san about this years later, and he said it was one of the most intense experiences of his life. They made some fabulous prints, and they had some glorious fights. The idea had originally been to make more than 4. Didn't happen. There was just too much, from Saeki-san's point of view, it was just too much demand. Can't get that close, can I? Sorry, just a minute, let's find a spot. From the publisher's point of view, it was just too much demand by the artist, and from the artist's point of view, the publisher just wasn't ready to give what he wanted for this. So the project finished at 4 prints out of the possible, 57 chapters of the Genji story that it could have been. Okay, a couple of things. The background here. What on earth is going on here? We see a similar thing on top here. There's more than one block involved. What you're seeing is partially carved, partially printed. For example, the things at the top here, you can see those stripes. They are, of course, carved. These mottled, cloudy effects, some of these are carved and some are put on with Atenashi Bokashi. We've seen many of these prints over the years, and we've had a chance to compare A, B, C, D, E, and we can see the things that are the same on 2 prints are carved. The things that are different are not carved. It's a real mix. This background here, there is a sharp block carved, and you can see the actual lines, and then there's a blurred block carved. The edges of the wood are rounded over, what they call block gradation, itabokashi. And then it does look like that itabokashi block has been printed again with pigment splashed on here and splashed on there to give a more blurred effect. Some of the highlights here, look at this one. The printer here has really done, look at the guy's hat. There is a light area at the bottom here. This thing's been printed at least twice, once with a basic light gray tone, then printed again with a dark gray tone, and he is wiped off at the bottom. He might have used his brush almost all the way down, then maybe did a wipe with his finger or a clean brush, that's another way to do it, and it's left a little light highlight at the bottom. We don't see this in all of the prints from this edition, but on the ones where the printers really took time to do it, it's astonishing. And I guess this is the kind of thing that Okada-san was demanding, and the publisher, Saeki-san, he's got to make a living. He's, he can't do everything that the designer wants. There's at one point, it's the famous line, cut print. You got to get going on the thing. The fireflies are done with multiple blocks. You can see in the middle here, that's the paper showing through, the white paper. So there is one block that has cut out. Then one of the background blocks for the background area is the gray here. That's cut out of it. And then, of course, there's another block. So we've got 1, 2, 3 layers. Very, very difficult. And it's all done with itabokashi. The block gradation is cut there. This is a nightmare to print, an absolute nightmare to print. But my God, it's just incredible. What else to highlight? The gradations in the, I don't know what they're called. What's the word for these things? I don't know. The fabric strips that come down. Look at the gradations. There's gradations across on these things, and none of these are carved. This is all atenashi gradation. He's got a single wood block for this strip, another one for this strip, of course. So it's a single wood block here, splits into two. And the wood block is on his bench, and there's no markings on it. Absolutely no markings on it. So he's got, pencil. He will do a pencil guide, and maybe he would do something like this. See the same color? We have color A, B, C, A, B, C, A, C, B, no, C. Anyway, there's 3 colors in a different order. So he would do, what kind? Let's call it green. He would do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He would do the green one first with his brush. He's got a brush and feathered out on both sides, and he would print the green. Then do the same thing on the same piece of wood, do the same thing for the vermilion, and then the same thing again for the purple. Or he would just put little pencil marks on the wood to show where to go. Not carved at all. And again, you can see when you compare different versions of this print, different editions of this print, these things wander a little bit. And I think this one, look at this, I don't think that really should be there. They've compressed these really too close. I don't know. There's a gap a bit too big here. So if he gets, you could be printing one and the thing moves a little bit. So he may have just gradually moved unknowingly, and these things ended up being compressed. I don't know. The edition count on this was supposedly 300. We see more. I think our friend Jacques over in Holland, he might even be here today. He has a packing board, and I think it's number 442 or something. So I don't know. It could have been, we don't know. I mean, editions here in Japan are just, people don't care about that thing, And there's also lots of copies out there that don't have the seal. And this is something else too. Of course, Okada-san supposedly inspected every one and sealed it with his seal. This is not the same as the old ukiyo-e seals. In the ukiyo-e era, the name and the seal thing are carved on wood blocks, and they get printed with every copy of the print. Hiroshige is long gone. Hokusai is long gone. He just designs it, hands it in, and he's gone. So in the old ukiyo-e, the signature and seal are part of the actual printing process. Come into the 20th century, or certainly art prints in the 20th century, and no, you don't carve the seal gets applied supposedly by the artist. And there's 2 of them on these prints. And yet there are lots and lots of copies, and there's ones I have in my own collection, some that don't have the seal. No idea. No idea. This is not something I can ask Saiki-san. If I took one of my prints here, went over to Saiki-san's place and said, "Say, I was looking at this the other day, and how come this one's got no seal?" That's the end of one friendship. So whatever. These guys, they just didn't care. It didn't matter. They're like the Westerners are talking about the signatures and limited editions, and just don't bother us. So whatever. There's no question, they're all coming off the same blocks. Whether you've got one that isn't sealed or is sealed, is it worth more or less? I don't know. I don't care. I have no interest in that. Did Okada-san personally look at every one of these? I have no idea. There is variation in the ones we see in the market, but not massive, stunning variation. There are none of them in the market that I've seen that are in really grotesquely bad condition. We know the blocks. The blocks were carved by Yu Udo, but there must have been some sponsorship from Okada-san. because once the printing editioning had been done, the 300 or however many copies it was, the blocks went back to Okada-san. Okada-san took the blocks back. This may have been a fight, or this may have been arranged from the beginning. I don't know. Okada-san is gone now, and again, I can't grill Saiki-san about these things. The blocks went back to Okada-san. And people, long-time viewers of this, know exactly what happened. I got a phone call from him late 1990s. It would have been 1997, 1998. I was still living in Hamra before I bought my Ome house. Okada-san phoned me one day and said he was renovating his house. There was blocks in the way. He's going to toss them out. Did I have any interest? As I've said, I've told the story many, many times. I just dropped the phone on the floor and I was at his front door before he put his own phone back in the cradle. Whatever. It doesn't happen like that, but yes, we had interest. Sadako and I got in her car, we drove over there, and we got the color blocks, the full set of blocks for these. And they are in my basement now over in Ome. And some of them are online. I know Jacques Commandeur visited me in Ome a few years ago. He took a bunch of pictures of one of the blocks for these, and he put them on his website. So some of these blocks are shot and on the website right now. We have the blocks. Having the blocks doesn't give you permission to make a woodblock print. The permission is in the design, and that's held by Okada Yoshio. Yuyudo didn't buy these. They simply made an agreement with him to make an edition of the prints. So the question is, and we get asked this all the time, it's probably happening in this chat right now, Dave, make some more, make some more, make some more. It's not going to happen. These prints exist, the blocks are heavily worn. There's the question of family permission. And there's also the question of Saiki-san. He did publish these, it was his energy, his effort. He took a bath on them because of the problem from Saiki-san. So if I stepped in now with these blocks and tried to make my own prints of these, it would be difficult for Saiki-san. We're friends, you know. And so this is not something I am going to attempt in any way whatsoever. What's out there is out there. It's 9:30. Listen, we can't go through all four. Let me pull one more out now, and then maybe we'll look at two more of these on another day. But let me just pull one more for now, because there's something else strongly to mention about it. Let's take a quick look at this one. This is, I think, these two are everybody's favorites, of course. It took me years and years and years to find a good, clean copy of this. The people, the printers and paper makers who did this were careless, I guess, with the sizing. We really don't know. My suspicion is that a group of them, some hundreds of them, were sized during the summer. And the sizing took a bit longer than they thought, and the sizing went off a little bit, and there was mold in it. It's almost always, when we see this print now on auctions or for sale, it's covered in mold and or foxing. I've got a clean copy here. We take care of it. We make sure we get it out. We air it now and then to take care of it. Almost always these prints are damaged. And it's mostly this one, the print called Matsukaze. The one I just showed you, we almost never see that foxed or with mold. This one almost always comes up with mold. Something else is fun about it, I don't know if you noticed it. If I zoom out a bit more, look what the registration mark is. The Kento registration mark. It's up at the top, and the side mark is here. So this print is actually printed upside down. The blocks are there. If I gesture how it would go, the printer is holding the paper. You put it into the block and into the registration mark. But for some reason, and it's not just this one, it's all four of them, they have done them upside down. And I have no idea why. If I ever had a chance to chat with Saiki-san about this, I might ask him, was it a mistake? Was it a plan? Is there some reason for it? Maybe, now that I think about it, one possible answer for this is because they were looking at these as 20th century works that were going to be framed, and they did that 20th century thing of leaving a wider margin at the bottom. you know, room for signature signing and stuff. When you mat and frame modern prints and pictures, there's the top and sides, and almost always, usually it has a wider strip at the bottom. And if this is really quite wide, and if they had put the registration marks in the normal way, if they're doing it this way, the registration mark in this corner, then it would have meant the paper nearest the registration marks would have been the white unused paper. And for us, it's critical. The farther away we get from the registration marks, the more difficult the registration is. So by doing it this way, your print, the body of the print is close to the registration marks, and this area out here, far from the registration marks, is white and unused. So now that I think about it, actually, that's almost certainly the reason for this. I'm not sure if that's wide enough that I would have done this, because her face is in the lower part of this thing, but whatever. That's probably it. Yeah, another thing. So, the block size. The problem is, though, the block could have been shorter. They could have left that with a shorter piece of wood then. The thing is, though, the length of the blocks is really easy. It's no problem. When we're buying these blocks, it's really difficult to find blocks that have the right width, because to find a tree that has enough body to get your good wood out of it. Finding a tree that has length, that's not a problem. And we've got the same thing here. We've got our planks that are 2, 3, 4 meters long, but we really struggle to find planks that are wide enough. So you're right, that is a factor. It means you can use a shorter piece of wood, but that's not usually a deal killer. The deal killer is the width on these things. Is it still in focus? I can't tell. Can I go a bit closer? Yeah. And the other thing about this print, it's insane. When you compare this woodblock print with the design as it appeared in the magazine, which Okada-san first did, this is dramatically different. And this print is probably the one that resulted in the fight between Saeki-san and Okada-san. I've got the blocks and I've looked at them, and you can see the story in these blocks. There's a block set for here, hair, red, there it is. And then Okada-san must have said, "Nah, we need more hair. It's not tangled enough." So Saeki-san must have said, "Okay, here, sketch me up." And Okada-san must have sketched, like maybe the first one didn't have this part of hair in it, or something like this. The first one had these 2 loops, but didn't have the 3rd loop, whatever. So they carved another couple of blocks with a whole lot more hair in and among these ones. And they must have test printed, and they must have come back, and then Okada-san must have said, "Needs more hair." And you can see, I don't remember as it goes on. When you take the block set, you can see the basic block set with the hairs, plus an extra block, plus an extra block, plus an extra block. They did it upside down to fit it in to try and do this. And the hair here is now a tangled rat's nest of, I don't even know, 8, 9, 10 wood faces. And to print it, it's just an absolute nightmare. If it had been designed one step from the beginning, all the hair you want, you do your basic gray under the background, you do your black on top, you go for it, 2 blocks, bang, bang, it's okay. It's not. It's a tangled nest. Somebody's saying 1 block per hair. It's not that bad, but it is a whole bunch of different faces. And clearly, there must have been some real strong back and forth on this. You can see Saeki-san, the publisher. What do you think I'm made of money? Blah, 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 blah. But at the end of the day, all said and done, I don't know who lost money. I don't know at the end of the day. But there we have it. There she is, and there they are out there in the world. And I talked about this when I made the video, you know. The eyebrows and nose and stuff on one of the prints, the Akashi print, the eyes and nose, they've been carved, I forget, it's 4, 5, 6 times, and chopped off and carved again and chopped off and carved on again and left. And it took them 4, 5, or 6 times of carving and printing to get the eyes just to the way they wanted. And I talked about this in the video, that it's a fabulous, fabulous example to me of a bunch of people having a vision of what they wanted to make, and then just working hard enough and just keep going until you get there. And I learned so much from those blocks, and at some point we've got to get them scanned and put them up online. And even though we can't sell prints from those blocks, it would be a fabulous project to do a set of test prints from them just to show the way the colors build up. That's not so much an issue on this one, but it would be really fun to see the colors building up on stuff like this. You can see what they've done, right? There's a translucent screen in front of her, and the translucent screen has made the colors here lighter than the color outside. How they did this, how they built it up. The blocks have so many stories to tell. How many blocks are there? I don't know. It's a huge deck. We filled our car with them. I have trouble picking up the group of blocks for any one of these prints. They are maybe, I'm just guessing here, the blocks for this print here, it's a stack about that high. It's maybe 12 pieces of wood, both sides, some areas more than one area. So we're looking 20, 30 different printing areas. I don't know. I don't know. Okay, I think that will do it for us today. We've had a chance to see these two. Maybe what I'll do, there's more in reserve. In fact, this folder that I brought up, I have downstairs A2 folders like this. They're heavy. These folders are full of large size prints that we just cannot see on our bench downstairs. So we've talked about this before. I don't quite know how to get to these. It's okay now when I'm doing a sizing stream, but maybe downstairs too. Now that the computer is movable because of these USB-C clips, maybe we should do this downstairs. So I can carve or do something downstairs, and then at show and tell time I can stand up and move the computer to a different place where we have a stand with larger prints. I will try and think about getting that done. Okay, I'm going to sign off. My next job now, the rest of today and tomorrow. There's no pool on Saturday, Sunday. There's no stream now tomorrow. There's no printers coming in here. For me now, Saturday and Sunday, I'm going next door with the wood blocks for the January print, and I'm going to do the test printing of the print. Monday morning, 48 hours from now, minus 90 minutes, what are we going to see? Hype, 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 hype. Okay. Monday morning. It's a date. See you soon. Thanks very much. There's no outside camera to show you what's going on. Monday we will. We will have an outside camera from the 3rd floor on Monday morning. See you then. Hey, thank you very much. I hope this paper is okay, what we've done today. I have no idea what's going on. I'm just going to now sign off. See you in a couple of days. Bye for now.